Hello, this is Kevin from CryptoMY. In today's episode, let's talk about Bitcoin and Cardano price prediction this week. Let's stay tuned. As you can see, this is the Bitcoin USDT chart right now on the Binance chart, and you can see that the Bitcoin has dipped all the way down to 32,000 today in the afternoon. So what's really happened? There's one reason behind it, because of Trump stated that the Bitcoin, it just seems like a scam. I don't like it because it's another currency competing with against the dollar. So what he trying to say that he prefer the dollars, he always prefer the dollars because he loves dollar, right? That's very normal. And the main point here is he stated that the Bitcoin is another currency. So he already admitted, somehow he admitted that Bitcoin is also one of the currency. And yeah, this one is just I think a sarcastic comment, maybe because he didn't buy any Bitcoin, or maybe he doesn't know how Bitcoin works in the end. So I think this is one of the reason why the Bitcoin has fallen. And right now, I also stated in my previous video, this video I've done with my wife regarding how to trade cryptocurrency for beginners. I have stated that if the Bitcoin managed to break above the symmetrical triangle, then you could see the Bitcoin will recover all the way up to 45,000 US dollar. But if it fails to and it breaks below, then it will drop all the way down to 32,000. So right now, if you can see on the chart of Bitcoin USDT, this is symmetrical triangle that I've drawn earlier. As you can see, Bitcoin has fallen all the way down to 32,000 right now, and it's floating around this area. So if you ask me whether it's a good entry point or not, yes, I would say, since it haven't managed to break below the 32,000, one of the good reason, because it might just float around this area. And as you can see, the RSI is showing oversold. Right now it's falling around 28, just right below the oversold area. So right now I think the Bitcoin will start to do some recovery. It might, but one thing you need to be cautious, that the Bitcoin might fall further down if it managed to break below these 32,000. So right now, if it really managed to break below, I think the latest nearest support should be around this 30,000 area. So right now we need to be careful, and if you manage to see any bullish engulfing right here, or any bullish pattern, that will be a very good sign for recovery. Yes, I won't deny that this right now the Bitcoin is considered as a very strong downtrend. It falls all the way down to the 32,000, as I stated in my video. And right now, I think the Bitcoin will rest a while around this area. Then if it doesn't do any bullish engulfing, then it will fall further down to this 30,000 area. But if it does do any bullish engulfing or any reversal pattern around this area, then it might float all the way back up to this symmetrical triangle. And let's say if it does go back into this symmetrical triangle, then it will be a very good move for the Bitcoin to do a consolidation inside this symmetrical triangle, and then tries again to break above this symmetrical triangle. But looking at the H4, let's look at the weekly chart, because yesterday was Monday, and surprisingly, the last week chart, it closes inside the symmetrical triangle. So one of the good thing is, if let's say it happens that the Sunday candlestick it closes below this symmetric triangle, then it could be a very strong possibility of confirmation of downtrend. But right now it's still closed inside this symmetrical triangle, or we can consider it inside this resistance and support zone around this area, then it should be very alright, because the nearest support area in the previous chart was around this area. So right now it still have the gap for the Bitcoin for it to recover towards upwards. And let's say if the next week the Sunday, the candlestick closed below this support line, then you could see the Bitcoin will fall further down to this area, because right here is one of the most strongest support zone ever. If it fails to reverse back up and it falls all the way down here, then you could see the most possibility it will fall all the way down to this 17,000. But you ask me whether I'm afraid or not, I wouldn't have any. I would say no, because I'll be holding long term, because I'm looking cryptocurrency as a long term investment. So right now, this sort of small move actually doesn't affect me a lot. But let's say if it does affect you a lot, one thing you can take note is, like I say, if the candlestick really close below this 32,000, then you could consider to exit the market maybe, or you want to wait for the reversal at this 30,000 mark area. Hopefully there's a reversal back here, and if it doesn't, then it will go all the way down to the nearest support should be around 20,000 area. So right now, yeah, Bitcoin is not doing very good. It's a very ugly candlestick today and yesterday, but based on my technical analysis on previous video that I've shown, it falls all the way down to where I've stated right now, which is the 32,000. So it's not bad after all. And let's just look at the Cardano versus USDT. Okay, what happens to Cardano versus USDT? Yes, Cardano USDT has falls all the way down back into this descending triangle, and you can see that it was struggling to break above this $1.86, because we make it even number, $1.90. So it fails to break above this $1.90 and falls all the way back inside this descending triangle. Yes, so right now the Cardano might just float around this area. Hopefully it will have a decision making whether to go up or to go down later on. The possibility of Cardano, it might dip all the way back down to this $1.33, or it might just do a reversal if the Bitcoins recover. If I stated in most of my video, I stated that if Bitcoins recover, that most of the coins will recover. So right now, hopefully that the Bitcoins will recover, and if they see any sign of Bitcoin recovering, then we could see the Cardano might have the bigger chance to recover back up to this descending triangle, and then we'll do a consolidation above this descending triangle. And this is very important, because if the Cardano really goes all the way back down here to this $1.33, then it will retest this support line again, and most of us will be panicking to see whether the ADA will break below or not. And let's say if it does, then the nearest support area should be around this area, which is the $1.17 to a $1.20 area. Yeah, I also cannot deny that the Cardano is also doing a very strong bearish signal right now. It's showing a very strong bearish signal right now. But one thing we should take note, that if we remove, okay, let me remove all these drawings. You can see that if we are looking at the bigger picture of ADA, the ADA is still actually doing very alright, because you can see that this is actually an ascending triangle on the daily chart. So right now the ADA haven't breaks below the ascending triangle, and it might just do a floating around this area to do a continuation all the way up to this $1.90. And if it does manage to break above this 0.618 line, then it could go all the way down up to this $2.10, which is alright. So pros and cons. Looking at the short-term chart, yes, you can see a very bearish signal. But if you're looking at the long-term chart, then you can see this is actually a very good move. As you can see also in the weekly chart, the last week candlestick managed to close above this candlestick. It doesn't have a red bar whatsoever, so right now this is still considered as a bullish sign. But one thing we need to take note is right now, let me pull out the Fibonacci retracement. If let's say if the ADA wants to go further up or recover back up, it must first break this Fibonacci. It must first go back above this 0.618 line. So right now, if I pulse from here to here, we can see that the candlestick right now, it falls inside this 0.618 line and also this 0.786 line. So it's actually very crucial for ADA, and ADA might just floats around this area, and it will try to break upwards back. And if it doesn't, if it breaks below the 0.6786 line, then you could see a very possibility of downtrend all the way down to this $1.33. So yeah, I think that's all for today's episode. If you ask me whether you should hold or not, yes, I think we should hold until you have a very bearish confirmation or very bullish confirmation, because right now it's still consolidating around this area. So we cannot confirm yet whether is it a downtrend or is it an uptrend or is it a consolidation. We haven't have any confirmation yet between both of the trends. Yes, right now I cannot deny that this is a very obvious bear signal, and right now you can see that the support line is just falls around this area. So if the ADA managed to break above back this support line, then it might have a very good recovery towards this $1.65 to $1.70 area later in the evening or this week. Okay, so I think that's all for today's episode. If you like my episode today, remember to click like, share and subscribe. I will see you guys soon, and goodbye.